through that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Raj Balaji. Mahesh sir, could you please give me the presenting rights?
Yes, sir. I have already given, sir. You are a presenter now. Oh no. 1 second, sir. I made you a presenter. 1 second, sir.
Please, yeah.
Yes, sir. I made you a presenter.
Yeah, okay. I got it, sir. I got it.
Yes.
Okay. Could you please acknowledge if you are able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Sir, not
Yes,
yet, sir.
Okay. Can you see my presentation? Everybody, can you please acknowledge if you can? Mahesh sir, can you see my screen? Okay,
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, yes,
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. So, thanks for giving me a great introduction on my past experiences. So the topic was is respect to the big data and correlating the big data with respect to the business analysis. Okay, so if I say big data, right, as a technical person, what I would say is big data are nothing but the logs that is getting generated behind any IT infrastructure server. Okay, so if I say logs, for example, suppose if you are doing a chat session and if you are sending an email or whatever click events that you do on a web server or on an application, or if you are streaming a video, or whenever a page is getting loaded on your browser, or as a user when you have your personal smartphone, okay, when you're moving to different locations, and at the same time, for example, the same, right, the meeting that we are taking part, again there we have sufficient logs getting generated according to the use cases. Okay, so when we have all these logs collected at one particular database, okay, and we fit in certain source codes or whatever over that and give you in the form of a visualizer where you'll be able to see what is happening behind the scene, right? And that is called as a big data. Okay, and each and every slide I will be going in depth, and finally I will be sharing you one particular slide where if the students are taking part in this particular session, right, they will gain interest and they can jump into this market, which is having a very good, very big scope on this. Okay, so I will show you some practical use cases also, and how it can be done also with thorough explanations. Okay, so the first thing here is that the customer view and the business intelligence. So the big data, what is the major role actually it is playing is that, right, today, right, we are downloading a lot of mobile apps in Apple Store and Google Play Store, and each and have its own specific use cases. Okay, and what is actually happening behind these things, it matters. Okay, so what we can say is that suppose if you're downloading a WhatsApp today, for example, in your personal device, okay, it can be any application, or when it comes to a business, when it comes to a customer support, it's the ticketing tool they use, okay, or the product review page in Amazon or Flipkart where you share the feedback, whatever you type in, right, everything is stored at the back end in the form of a data. It can be a text or video or anything, everything is captured. Okay, so using this, what I would do is, or any business, what they can do is they can do some behavior analysis on a particular individual. If I say behavior analysis, what I can say is if I For example, if you order a product in Amazon, just for an example, and you get the product, and you go to your Amazon login page. Suppose if the product is broken during the delivery, okay, and you go log into your credentials on the Amazon website, and maybe if you are angry, right, you use certain words against the particular delivery stuff, whatever, over Amazon, right? You may ask them to refund and all these things. The sentences or the phrases that you use, right? Amazon has an ability to understand whether you are angry or not. That is what today's technology. They can understand what sort of words that you use on the ticketing tool. They can predict it. What's your tone? What sort of sentences you use? Or you are just giving it in just like a broken, I just want a refund. The way the sentence has been phrased. Today there is a technology to analyze and understand what you are actually thinking. Okay, and accordingly, automatically you get responses on all these things. Of course, yes, there is some manual chat support, but in today it is decreasing because this artificial intelligence started to respond to emails, and artificial intelligence has started to chat with users. We assume it's a user, but definitely it's not a user. Okay, it's an intelligence. There, big data is playing a major role with respect to the behavior analysis. Okay, and another use case what I would like to explain here is that, right, in the whatever political polling that we did during the month of April, May. Okay, so they use this digital marketing strategy. See, all these politicians. Okay, so whatever parties, what they used is that on you when these users, YouTube, for example, let's take YouTube as a use case. Okay, so each and every individuals use YouTube for many different purposes. Certain people will use for foods, and certain people use YouTube to understand some technology or whatever, or certain people watch movie trailers repeatedly or some particular topic or astrology and all these things. So YouTube knows, actually it can understand what you are clicking, what type of video that you are trying to watch. Okay, it can understand whether it is particular a video, whatever you're trying to serve is sentimental in nature, or it is a joke, or it is something to a topic or technology. It can understand. Okay, so on over that, so whatever again, right, when you just close your YouTube and then just reopen once again with your login credentials, right, whatever that you try to browse the last time, whatever you liked it, okay, again YouTube with the same credentials will show you the respective videos or the videos which are very relevant to you. Okay, for example, a technology, again technology related will come, or where you are going to search for some any food based stuffs that in YouTube, how they practice, how women practice in kitchen, right? The same sort of videos come. How it is actually it is coming again and again is that it's we can say it as a behavior based analysis. Okay, so this YouTube, it has a technology to predict and it can understand what you think, and accordingly it can share the videos accordingly. So using the same technologies, what these digital marketing people do is that for the respective traffic, see, they measure the traffic on what topic, whether these people use YouTube for listening to jokes or movies or some prank related videos or technology, whatever they can track it. Okay, they can understand what you're saying, and they enforce political ads on those videos, so that whenever these users see their the most liked videos, right, that time in between they give you the paid ads in the form of an yellow task, in the form of a yellow bar. You can see immediately a video comes in, it asks for a skip ad, and certain ads are paid ads that you will not be able to skip. So these things, what happens is that there is an intelligence enforcing these things to happen, so that what I can say is that technology is seeing you, what you are doing, and it can understand what you like, and whatever things that you try to browse or try to surf or try to see, the technology knows when to put the ad, what sort of ad I can tell. So I can make you as a customer. So the technology is actually giving way to decide. It is giving a big way to market. Okay, so there what happened is they are able to share, they're able to share the respective like when for example like a DMK or a DMK, they're able to enforce such videos. Okay, these things comes under those behavioral based analysis. Okay, the next one. Okay, so let's take the another domain like e-commerce, we can say. So if I say e-commerce, as I mentioned earlier, it's Amazon, Flipkart, and Snapdeal, right? You choose your products and you buy accordingly. You choose your prices accordingly over there. Okay, and you keep on buying certain things more repeatedly. There are various parameters over there, and each and everything, whatever products you try to browse, right, everything is captured at a particular database in the form of your geographical location, your user login credentials, and what type of a product that you're actually try to list and search that you want to buy. Everything is recorded and stored. Okay, so the next time when you try to log in, the same comes at the top and then the rest at the bottom. Okay, so what happens is that it gives Amazon, the Flipkart or the Snapdeal, who are the giants in the market, right? They are able to understand according to your login credentials what you exactly want and what you like the most. Okay, and accordingly they show the products at the top and the rest at the bottom. Okay, it means they want to do marketing according to your behavior, what you like, right? So they can suppose if you are looking for iPhones at a very cheap cost at a particular timestamp in Amazon, they know very well that you always keep searching for this particular context every time. So what they will do is they will introduce ads in between so that they can direct you and click on certain links. Okay, that use case. Okay, and obviously yes, security. I will show you the demonstration how it actually works. Okay, so security, yes, true, because we need big data for it. So the how the use case comes when it respect to the cyber security is that the good data and bad data, we need to categorize between the two. For example, technically speaking, the URL address, and from the URL you can take a domain address, and from the domain you can go to the IP address, and from the IP address you can go to a machine's file. Okay, so each and everything has its own properties. A URL has its own property, a domain has its own property, IP address has its properties, and whatever file formats that is stored on a particular laptop or a desktop has its own properties. Okay, so these properties are used in big data to collect the information and also categorize accordingly. Categorization, if I say the URL belongs to sports, the URL belongs to social media, and the URL belongs to an educational site, for example, Wikipedia, right? There is an intelligence to do it. So we use such big data metrics, and we build the information categorization, and we are able to see what the users are actually using during the office hours, in what traffic they are more interested into. Okay, so using that we'll be able to calibrate. And if I say bad data, certain things that doesn't belong to a common pattern where people use it in regular traffic. For example, google.com is a bit different, and if I say a hacking Google website will look like GOOGLE is a normal domain, and for hackers it will be GOOGLE. Okay, so there are many other patterns and parameters behind it. So what we do is we use artificial intelligence and machine learning to predict which is good and bad data against the traffic. So that's a bit technical, so but we can see it in the future slides how it is actually working. And it has a major role to derive the pricing also. So what you order the most on these e-commerce platforms, right? And what are the price ranges that you have been doing for the past 6 months? Everything has been thoroughly recorded, and we can have these data to do some predictions, and it can help the supplier to define a particular cost. whether he is selling his product online at a cheaper cost, at the most competitive cost, the competitor analysis, everything can be done on the big data. So if I have the big data, I need to put some algorithm on top of it to give me good results, which is the prediction. So the prediction on the big data will help me to do a good business. Okay, so that is it in the slide. And the next is, yes, of course, on the personalization and recommendation part, the one good example is YouTube and Facebook. We can take both together. Okay, you watch some videos and you give likes and you go and subscribe. You go and comment on it in Facebook for certain particular pictures. You give some likes and you just comment on it. Whatever comments you give, okay, whatever videos you go and click and give likes. Okay, so these servers, this cluster of servers, whatever YouTube users or even the Facebook users, they collect all these data in the form of a URL, domain, IP address, and much more parameters that I will show you on the future slides. They run their prediction algorithm on all these things and they come to know, and they will be able to target you who is your next friend request. They can decide, okay, and whatever chat you do, what sort of a text you do, whatever you are typing on the chat, yes, Facebook can recognize what you are actually typing it, what type of comment you do. Facebook has the intelligence to understand what you are actually looking for the next time you log in. Okay, so and similarly the YouTube, as I mentioned earlier, okay, they use big data metrics to understand where are you trying to access, just like similar to very cybersecurity also. I see, if we want to track a phone, yes, it is possible, right? And similarly, just to avoid this data privacy and all these things, whether it is Google or Facebook or YouTube, they use different patterns to understand your routine daily life. Okay, actually, what I would say is, honestly, yes, they can see you, what you are actually doing. That's the honest answer. And they use some certain metrics and the patterns to do some prediction and keep on tempting you to do the same things again and again. And thereby the same technology has been used for marketing purposes. When you are watching a particular picture in the Facebook or a particular video, you can become a lead for this business. Okay, so there big data is used. And content analysis and AI. If I say content, okay, for example, you're using Facebook, right? In Facebook, images are there, then videos are there, and even live videos are being used in these days, and the textual content, for example, let it be an audio also. Whatever servers they have built, they are able to decode and understand with all the big data metrics, and they are able to analyze whether are you looking for example, say sentimental, some sort of sentimental analysis. Sentimental analysis they can do. The way you put the text and the way you talk and the way you post the videos, these machines has the ability to predict and understand. Okay, so we can say, for example, here in this particular side, the content analysis, I can tell it's a sentimental analysis. Okay, and okay, you can take Google search also as an example. I have seen that when a particular keyword has been searched with certain Gmail login credentials, and once again, I don't even need to fill in my credentials using the login. The Google is ultimately able to tell today what I am actually looking for. Okay, the same does the Facebook and Twitter. Okay, they can understand even when a search, right, when you're trying to search some technology on Google is able to predict what you are going, what you like the most. Okay, so these things has been seen. Big data is nothing but, in simple, we can call it as a logs, or we can say big data can understand each and everybody in this world. Means in the form of logs. They can understand, and understanding metrics is built accordingly. It can be a behavioral or sentimental or emotional, and these things will come to artificial intelligence, and everything is being monitored is what I would like to say in the form of a logs and metrics. Okay, so the way you type the contents, the way you frame the sentences during a chat session or an email, or when you look for certain things, when you look certain things in Facebook, right, it will be able to tell whether you are sad or happy, and accordingly on the next attempt it knows what you actually need. It can do some prediction. Okay, so that's one example. If I say preventive and maintenance support, for we can take energy and transportation domain. Here again the metrics actually differ a bit. For example, for energy, right, the electrical metrics we can say. So we know when any metrics is found to be bad, or if some power sources is going to fail, we need to turn on a backup during a natural disaster. Or you can have the same big data analytics on the transportation purpose also. For example, Google Map already does it, because Gmaps, they are intelligent in nature, because when you open Gmaps, right, it is able to tell you where the traffic is, and it will ask you to reroute accordingly. Okay, so Google Map again knows where are you, okay, and what is your IP, in which location you are. See, there is by default this tracking enables in the form of various metrics. Okay, the same metrics can be used to predict you what you are actually expecting it. Something, if I say prediction, the word is referring to something like a future. I'm going to predict something like astrology, predicting what is going to happen tomorrow, what is going to be my life after 6 months. Like, I can have this data and I can come to a conclusion what you're trying to do next. Okay, it's very much similar to that. And on the other side, identifying and mitigating, it's a part of risk management, I could say, and this domain will be very specific to IT logistics. IT logistics like that. So if I say logistics, one good example I can say is Swiggy. Okay, you use Swiggy application, and you choose what you want to buy. What you can go to search, and um, you can search for the food that you like the most. Okay, and there is a server sitting behind this to understand, using your credentials, what you are actually that you want to buy, and what is your most frequent buying that you have done. And moreover, right, there is a chat service that is being used by Swiggy, which is not a manual chat. It is an artificial intelligence chatbot that is making you to give ratings to the person who delivered. And at the same time, if you're not happy the way you chat with Swiggy application, it does a refund also. Actually, there is no man sitting behind it. It's a artificial intelligence chatbot giving you answers accordingly. How it is able to do is the question. Okay, it knows, it can understand in the form of texts and keywords and the patterns that you request the customer support using Swiggy chatbot. Okay, and accordingly it responds to you. And even if it is nowadays, the same application is able to refund the money automatically. Okay, so that's one thing. And this is, we can call this as a buying behavior also. This also comes into the big data analytics. Okay, and last but not the least, yes, cybersecurity, as I mentioned earlier, we are doing it. And I want to spend some time on this particular slide. Okay, this is very important, and this particular slide will help students to jump into this domain, and they can just look for some very good business and very good career in this. Okay, this actually, this partially, this is actually used in cyber security, and there is a lot of metrics also. But I am putting this technology open to students so that they can understand where this technology will actually lead to. Okay, so if we look at this drawing, right? Okay, so I have written something called any type of business, one column, and target customers. Okay. Inside any type of business, you can see I am written something like servers and server form. Okay, so there I have written as applications like website, web application, streaming, e-commerce, search engines. Here you can just correlate with a search engine like Google, e-commerce as Amazon, streaming as a YouTube. You can take these things as an example in the form of a server. Okay, so what is actually happening in these server forms? So what is the actual big data parameters? The metrics that I was explaining you when I was giving the industrial use cases. So what is the metric they are actually using? How they are able to understand what I like? Even we don't share it to others, but the way we use our smartphones, the way we use our laptops and desktops, a machine is able to understand what we like and what we don't like. Okay, so the metrics is something simple as just logs, I can say. Okay, so big data is nothing but logs. So the examples whatever I'm sharing you here is that just below that logs and big data, the backend, when a website is getting loaded or a web page or whenever you open your mobile application, right, there are a lot of target domains or the queries your phone is generating, okay, according to the application in the form of an URL. Okay, whatever you see on the address bar, okay, the URL, the domain. Okay, and Larry Page algorithm, I will just I will see it at last. And just below that there is something called as information categories. The NLP stands for natural language processing. Okay, this natural language processing will apply to domains. So okay, so what type of traffic or the search or your application is trying to do at the back end? Okay, the server can understand the category. Okay, like that, for just for an example, the IP address and the port numbers I have mentioned. So this will give the application to understand in which geolocation are you from India, are you from Coimbatore. The server can understand. Okay, and it can very well understand that's your phone number and it has a registration and that's your valid phone. It can still understand that. For example, iCloud knows where your phone is. Okay, and the file and data types and properties, the files whatever you store it on your personal devices, it's just not only your 4G for smartphones or iPhone, Android, whatever it is, it can be anything. Okay, so these applications can understand what type of files that you store on your device. It can understand what the file actually is. Even if you store a picture, the application can understand what that picture is actually. Is it just a passport size photo? Content is just a male or a female? It can understand, and there is a system to understand what is the content inside the hidden picture. Okay, so it can categorize you. It can understand what you are using these files and data types. Okay, or what I would like to say is it can, these systems can even understand a character the personal device uses. Honestly speaking, true, because if we see, we are into cyber security, right? If you do a hack into a phone personal device, it doesn't mean that we need to access the picture, right? The metrics will clearly tell what that person is. Okay, and the another one is the header, the plain text and the secure, right? Now for example, when you are browsing with your laptop, the HTTP link or the HTTPS links, right, whether it is Google or Google Drive, whatever you do, whatever click events you do, what type of picture it is able to do, the particular server is able to understand those things. It has the ability to decrypt, though you encrypt the data, the system knows what to do. And if I say API service, you for suppose for example, what is an API is that you just understand when you go to a browser, you just put google.com, but actually google.com it doesn't mean a single domain is loading. Behind Google domain, I would say around 103 servers are taking part for a single page to load on your single browser at a singular session. Okay, and once again that API service we can make use as a big data and we can understand what you are actually trying to do. the SSL and the TLS certificates. Actually, this is some sort of a decryption methods that your browser use, right? For example, HTTPS links are very secure in nature. Okay, your browser knows how to decrypt it, and similarly, these servers use the decryption technology to understand what your message is actually dealing with and to whom you are trying to send the information. Okay, and the authentication and username and password. Suppose if you're using YouTube application, you use your Gmail account or whatever account is available with you. You log in with those credentials. Yes, it can understand that. And at what timestamp? If I say timestamp means timestamp is nothing but a metric. At what time, what type of data you try to access. Now, what you need to do is you just take all these metrics all together. Okay, you take from URL till the timestamps. Okay, you take it all together. You prepare a script, for example, a Python program. Okay, you prepare a program, and using this, you will be able to store this information on a data. And each and every second, every single second, if I store this data right, then I will be able to understand what you are, and I will be able to tell you what you actually like, and I will be able to chat with you the way I want to chat with you, because I will be able to understand. Just think about it. If I say file and data types, it's very simple. The way you see the video, what type of videos you see. Yes, files. Yes, the server has access to it, obviously. You send an email with certain words, right? Are you angry or not? The system can decide. So if you see, starting from the URL and the timestamps, please make a note of it. If you have all these parameters stored at the backend of your server, and if I automate it and if it's stored inside a database, that becomes a database for me, which is more wealthy, because I will be able to predict you what you actually think. That is the logic, business logic people use. Okay, and once you have the database ready with using all these metrics, okay, from URL till the timestamps, I prepare an algorithm. What I can say is machine learning, the training phase, not too technically. Um, for example, I can take same use case, a YouTube as a server. I'm simply using YouTube again and again. Let me go for Google search. Okay, so that Google, right, when it is trying to rate, it has, because you have been searching it with your credentials, right? It has its own training phase according to your login credentials. It starts to understand what is your search criteria, and using that particular search criteria, Google uses its algorithms to predict and understand what you want, and certain things, if it matches what you actually need, it can show you the respective ad in the small bit of a frame, throwing you an ad. For example, using the Google search, you have visited some website to buy a particular product, and Google understands it. When you log into the Google search engine, whenever it shows the search results, you'll be able to see a scroll bar or a small ad coming inside the website itself. That is done by these servers, so that because actually it is always noticing you what you're doing, using all these metrics. It is able to understand what you're actually looking for, and at that particular page visits that you do, it can throw some ads on it, which can be either relevant or irrelevant. That is according to the business person who is actually doing the advertisements, right? He can throw ads at those areas, and he will be able to pull you as a business lead. This is how the business works. Okay, so from the any type of business part, right? When you just look at the target customers, right? The customer, as a customer, suppose say, see, whatever I have written below the any type of business, you can just understand it is a single server. It's a Linux server, for example. Okay, under the target customers column, I am just a normal user. Okay, I'm searching for a certain amount of videos, certain texts or images, or I will be listening to downloading MP3 files. Then you all very well know about this Tamil Throgas downloading some movies and all these things, and links and redirects. It can even be mobile apps. Okay, so for the customer, it is just going to be an application. Okay, and from the customer area to the server area, you will be able to see all these parameters starting from URL till the timestamps, right? The server is good enough in today's technology to predict and understand what you are actually looking for. When you're looking for certain things, when I put some ad on the particular area, you may become a lead for my business. Okay, so these metrics, right, it's very important. If I have this, I will be able to understand even without talking to you. I can predict what you actually looking for, and I can, to be very honest, right, I can tell a person's, we have technologies to tell a person's character when he's browsing. He may assume that he is using a personal device that no one is aware of, but the servers that is used, that is sitting behind, can very well understand, and there is a technology to understand even a person's behavior. If I say behavior and sentimental and all those things, it becomes a part of a character, right? I can define what he's actually looking for and what he is. We can define it. So using these metrics, but these things are I'm not I just we're not I'm not sharing it to scare you people, but the technology has grown to that level. Okay, so using this metrics, there are bigger giants, as I already mentioned, mainly Amazon, Google. They are making a lot of money just by understanding each and every people, because these individuals who use these applications the most, right? So they generate big data in the form of the parameters that I have mentioned just below the logs and big data, the backend service. If my system has the ability to collect these data, then I can put an algorithm on it to predict what is going to do next. Then using the same metrics, my algorithm can be built, or for example, a machine learning, a Python based algorithm can tell, will allow me to predict what is going to be the next action plan for this particular customer, in which page I can throw the ad. Okay, so these things are wide open. Okay, so this particular last slide will help a lot for this particular technology. Okay, so since I am into the cyber security, okay, and network security, so when we are defending against these hackers, right, so we also deal with big data analytics. So using the differences between the standard traffic and some network traffic, which is found to be quite different from the standard network traffic, we will be able to do a prediction against good and bad. Okay, so here, if you are able to see my screen, I'll just show you here. You are able to still see my screen, Mahesh sir? Can you please acknowledge? Is my screen still visible? Mahesh sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you see I am
Yes,
having a
sir.
server log here? Yeah.
No,
Visible,
no,
sir.
it
Visible,
is
sir.
big. Visible, sir.
It's
I'm
visible,
just
sir.
showing, you are able to see my server log, right? I'm trying to highlight here. Okay. So if I run a particular command, right, and I have another server, I run a particular command, and you could see, right, this particular girl, this people, and this people. I can use this data, I can decrypt it, and I can read the content, and I can understand what they are actually doing in the business hours. So this helps with respect to the security. And when we correlate all these things, right, all these matters with respect to different business purposes, it actually, it has a very big path. I hope you were able to get my points here, because it's very similar to this, servers, whatever these giants use, the cluster of servers, they can see all these things, they can understand using this. So whatever logs that you see behind here, it becomes the big data. Okay, that is what actually I am trying to explain here in this
Jagan
particular
sir,
slide.
excuse me.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yeah, only now your screen gets loaded. So far we are seeing
Oh,
your
sorry.
screen, but of course it is a big data bar log business analysis. But what that you tried to show some uh, examples, no sir?
Yeah, 1 second. So let me reshare the screen again.
Yes
Okay,
sir.
okay. Just let me know. Can you see one particular
Yeah.
screen I am sharing? Yeah. Can you see a
We are
logs or running? Yeah. Can you see that?
no sir.
Yeah. You still don't see it?
Yes.
Can you see or you are not able to
We
see?
are
Just let
seeing
me know.
your screen. In that screen, it is only PPT is visible.
PPT. Okay, sorry. Maybe I need to change it. 1 second.
Yes sir.
So, yeah, can you see the screen now?
Yes sir.
Can you see
Yes,
this? A black screen with the logs?
yes. Yes sir.
This information, right, is sufficient for me to
Okay.
understand an individual. Okay,
Okay.
and I will show you another example.
Okay.
Let me show you that. Okay, let me just go back here. Let me stop, share it once again. And this server, okay. Okay, now you see then another server, I think, yeah, it's running.
Yeah.
Okay, so here I'll just highlight here. Can you see this girl's name, Susitra.2? Can you see this?
Yes sir. You are highlighted.
Yeah, see here. Actually, this is what big data is all about. So here, as I mentioned earlier, the HTTPS traffic, whatever is just passing on your screen, I am capturing it in the form of a database. The end of the day, I can catch the particular person and I will be able to predict and tell whether she has really worked or not. Whether she has used internet in a proper way. Means she's a HR. Just for an example, so you can just assume. I'm just giving you the ideas, right? So these logs will clearly define. I will be able to understand what they were actually doing, and I will be even able to predict and stop what they are actually looking for tomorrow. And similarly, your mobile phones or smartphones generate the same logs, the same format at the back end. Okay, so these informations I can use this informations to clearly decrypt what you are actually trying to use, and I will be able to predict the next day. Or it's very simple, these metrics will help me to understand. So that's what I was trying to share in this particular timestamp. So the one important thing is here is this slide. Okay, so you can take this information to your students, they can do a research. Okay, if they're able to understand what this diagram actually speaks about, and if they have the skills with Python or any other C++ programming languages, if they're able to understand this big business logic, and even these students will have the potential to build something more beyond Google also. They can go beyond Amazon also. So yeah, the concept is very quicker. Means see, that's what, sir. These metrics will tell if I store this data for another 10 days, right? So if I will be able to understand what you are actually, and I will be able to do a business with you, either in the form of what I would say. The business, it can be a straightforward business. I can throw an ad, or I can capture this data and it can threaten you and get tech businesses, though it's not quite serious. But these systems actually is doing the same stuff. That's what I am drawing the picture. You can just save this slide. This particular slide will will be very helpful for the students. Actually, they can run a lot of projects on it. So if you could see this metrics, right, it doesn't deal only with the plain text and all these things. Even the video metrics, whatever it is beat surfing, I am able to store their data. Okay, and certain people will have certain questions like you are actually misleading the data privacy. Actually, it is not the case. Our company has its own internet access policy, and that has been signed by the particular employee, right? If certain things violate, we will be able to predict and we can show them actually you didn't use the internet for the business purpose and they can take an action on it. And similarly, you can, this is with respect to the security and control. And when it comes to a commercial business, then you can just imagine what you can do. An X-ray in healthcare with many lung infections, with a lot of data you have, and you can write an algorithm to predict who is actually having the lung infection or not. You can come to that level. So these metrics will really help because this is the actual secret behind all these things. Yeah, that's all. That's my end of the session, sir.
Okay,
Sir,
thank you.
that was a nice session. Very informative. So we have some doubts and questions. Shall I, sir?
Please.
Sir, Amazon, Flipkart, they are multinational companies. They are MNCs. Is it possible to use business analytics in middle or small level companies? Is it possible, sir?
See, what's your question? You want to do something similar to them or what you want to do?
Sir, actually, I have some data in my business. For example, I have some data with my business. Is it possible to do business analytics with my data? I'm running a small business, like a trader, trader. What can I do with my business data? Whether business analytics only for the MNCs or middle and small level companies also?
Anywhere it can fit in. Anywhere it can fit in. And what I am saying is that, you see, you will have your own business strategy, right? You are the one who is deciding the business strategy if you are the business owner. Am I right? Okay.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
See, if you're talking about trade, for example, any example, can you tell me something like a cryptocurrency trading or what it is? Or any other trade that you're trying to do?
Maybe a future trading.
Okay, whatever, right? Definitely you will be building an application, correct?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
On that particular application, right? On the particular application, what is your effort for the people's visibility? You got my question?
So no.
Yeah. See, you for example, you build an application for trade. Okay, you are the business owner. You build a business strategy.
Yes.
Just like Amazon, you have also built one server, for example. Okay. So what are applications that is running on the cloud that you have hosted? What is what you need to just check first at this point? What is the amount? Tell me.
Actually, my question is, I'm not running a website or I'm not doing a e-commerce business.
Okay. Fine.
So then, in that case, how business analytics will be useful for me?
Okay, you are saying it. You don't want a server or you don't want a website itself.
Yes,
you don't have anything, or you just want to do a trade.
Sir, actually, I'm running a small business like a seller. I am a seller. For example, I'm a seller.
Okay. Yeah, tell me, please.
I have some customer data. I have some selling data. I have some invoice. Is it possible to do business analytics with that data?
Yes, you will be able to do. Yes, you can do it. And the thing is that it depends it depends on the programming logic that you write to grab the competitor analysis. There is something called as a competitor analysis, right?
Yes, sir.
There are similar people running business that what you are actually trying to do, right? There, what you can do is you can do some analysis with your own programming language if you have a potential people to write a program for you and get certain amount of data from the internet and do some analysis over that and to tell you yourself whether you have the scope or not.
So, which means I have to develop a analytical tool for my business to fit to
You
my
need,
business.
yes, exactly. Then how you will
Okay.
project if you don't have a data? That's what a big data is all about.
Okay, sir. Okay, okay.
If you don't
Sir,
have a metric, yeah.
is there any common tools for business analytics or big data analytics?
What I would say is there are no separate tools. You
Okay.
just need to use a business law, just a business logic that I try to explain here, and whatever I try to explain here, the same logic, even the Google or AWS or I was highlighting the giants what they are actually doing. Even the same logic can be used for the mid-level businesses also. Yes, it is possible.
So whether I need any high level configured systems for doing analytics?
No need, madam. No need. No need. No.
Okay.
No. 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 No.
Okay,
No.
sir. Okay.
I have developed a cybersecurity product. It
Okay.
is having the potential to run on a i5 processor desktop itself.
Okay, sir. Okay.
And it is collecting some 5 TB of data. I'm able to collect daily efficiently, and we are able to write some algorithms on the same machine, and it is giving me a very good result. Actually, if you tell me the higher end service, I actually practically have seen it. So what I would say is the system resources doesn't actually matter. It's up to the person who is writing the code. For example, in today's market, okay, there are developers who can write 10 lines of code, and there are also super developers who can write the same 10 lines of code in 2 lines itself. When you take this program into the machine which has the 2-line code will run more efficiently. You understand, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
So,
yes.
so it depends upon the person's talent, obviously.
Okay, sir. Okay. Sir, if I'm a student, from a student point of view, if I want to go in the field of business analytics or big data analytics, is there any certification for that? What I have to do? What will be my first step to do to become a analyst, data analyst?
Okay, so yes, what you can do is that this for this you need to be the thing is that first you need to be a data scientist. There are it's not a certification. Actually, I will not suggest for data certification here. Don't go for any certification. I am an open source lover. You know about open source, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, open source, right? It doesn't
Yes,
mean
sir.
that you need to invest your money to learn something, because in today's world there is something called as GitHub, okay, where
Yes.
there are lot of good people in the community who show their technology upfront without hiding. Okay, you can just Google them, take it, check it, you yourself run it. So here, right, if you ask me if I get certificate only, I will be able to do a big data analysis business. Definitely it is not so. The thing is that the idea is very simple.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Any question? Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Audience, do you have any questions? Please.
Good evening, sir. Good evening, sir. This is Ajesh K. Anthony from Ratnam Institute of Management. Sir, I have two questions.
Yes.
So far, we were discussing about indirectly. We are discussing about mostly about cyber forensics and cyber security aspects. It can be used in that way also. Right?
Yes, actually, the
So,
same thing can be used in many different formats. Yes.
okay. So you said to get the data from internet. Are you mentioning about the data scraping?
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I missed a point. Let me highlight it here. Actually,
Okay.
okay. Said,
And
do
what?
you? Yeah, yeah. I'm showing you that.
Okay.
Actually,
I mean,
missed
so getting
explaining you here. Yeah.
so using data scraping, we'll get target audience data.
No, no, no,
Then
no, no. It is. Yeah, it's not. It's not like that. It's not like that.
no, I mean getting
For example, yeah,
using data scraping,
yeah.
we'll
Sorry,
get
you're asking me
data, and
something.
from that we can mine into the insights what we need. But my question is there any SaaS frameworks or any software as a service mechanisms available as our COE asked? So even the medium type business or even a small business, for example, for a retailer also can rent that service.
Yes,
If it
obviously, yes.
if it is
Yeah.
not available, there is a huge opportunity for the upcoming entrepreneurs to focus on that. Exactly what you said.
Yes.
So is it
See,
available
for
now?
example, today, yeah, yes, sir, correct. What I'm actually coming to say is, see, you know how Google works,
Right.
okay? If you have an algorithm with you personally, you
Yeah.
tell me, can you do a business equal to him?
Yeah, of course, depends because they are playing with a heavy resource intensive game. But even though I don't have such a resource, but of course I can do a better algorithm definitely.
Yes, yes, that's all. So I will just give you the keyword. You can search yourself, sir. So
Right.
go to Common Crawler. There is a website called as Common Crawler.
Okay. Is that a spider? Is that a
Uh,
crawling
you
crawler or
you
spider?
no, you don't need to write you don't need to write a spider. It is
Okay.
already a spider that is here. That is actually it is on open source.
Okay.
And there is a lot of investments happening on the common crawler
Okay.
where it has all the database downloaded onto a machine for a
Uh-huh.
particular category.
All right. Great.
uh, yeah, everything is already downloaded there, sir. It is
Uh-huh.
free.
So can we
Even
do
Google
data
is
mining
using
over
the
there,
same.
sir?
Yes,
If
yes,
if
yes.
we properly develop an algorithm as well as an application, can we use that application on top of those particular databases, and we can mine data and get particular visualizations or insights for our purposes? Is that what you mean?
Exactly, exactly.
Okay.
See, the common crawler is a community
Okay.
wherever any applications come or any service providers come. A common crawler is by default a spider scraper only,
Okay.
which already has the whole website or application downloaded onto your hard disks. Okay,
Oh. Okay.
so you can run your algorithm against that common crawler,
Okay.
and you can use some tools like natural language processing or something to do
Okay.
some prediction, and you will
Okay.
be able to understand what is today's market, and you will be able to do your target customers also.
Oh, great. Okay. Okay.
Okay, so
So
you just
we'll
have
get
this
insights,
common.
the patterns and
Yeah.
insights.
Yes, yes, yes,
Okay.
obviously that is because Common Crawler, what they do is that they don't only download all these digital data, they are categorizing it, whatever it is available, so that other search engines can make use of it during
Okay.
search results. So
True.
you imagine from that perspective and you write your algorithm for your business need, and you take data from there and you can do an approach yourself.
Great. Great. Clear, sir. So there's a huge opportunity.
Yes,
Truly a
yes,
huge opportunity.
yes, that is true.
I think it's not really utilized or exploited.
Sir, actually, see, it is having a very big scope, sir. But the thing is that, right? Yeah, what I would like to say is that, right? Whether the concentration has really been taken care, is
Right.
what it actually means. Is there a focus given by the institution on it? It matters really.
Okay. No, sir, I'm talking from a new venture perspective because we are doing an MBA IEV batch that is mostly focusing on new venture creation. So from that perspective, what you said so far opens up a door of huge scope, an unlimited scope kind of.
Yes, yes.
That's what I'm more interested in.
Yes, sir, true, sir. Sir, see, if you're going to do a business and you have already defined a business strategy for it, okay, you need to you need to define an algorithm to take the data accordingly from the common crawler and you
So you're breaking.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Shall I repeat the statement? Yeah.
Yes.
Please.
See, if you have a business strategy,
Yeah.
and you know who your target audiences are.
Clear.
Okay. You take the you use common crawler. Okay. You use the common crawler. You write a programming script to take the data or you to mine the data accordingly. And use that data to do some analysis and choose your target audiences on the same data itself.
Okay, based on the patterns.
Yes.
Okay, clear, sir. Clear, very clear. Now
all your customers are available for free in common crawler. Yes.
Sir, that last slide really makes sense right now. After this explanation, your last slide is really making more sense. And sir, if you don't mind, I think the first slide of yours is showing your contact information. If we can share that, that would be great.
Second, actually, I think my contact information, it is available with